Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the video. It is Wednesday morning, the 8th of October. In this video we're going back to Nova Scotia, not been there for a couple of days, been covering other cases. If you saw yesterday's video, another Canadian case that is just baffling, little 6-year-old boy from Alberta who's gone missing. No sight, no sound of him at all. Okay, so Nova Scotia and the case of missing siblings, 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan from Lansdowne Station. There has been a lot of media scrutiny on this case. The children's stepdad, Daniel Martell, he's been the one that has been out there. The voice of Daniel is well known now because he's not just given numerous interviews to mainstream media, he has also been talking to a bunch of content creators. What we're going to look at in this video is a recent conversation that Daniel had with Hidden in the Fog. This came out yesterday, 19 hours ago, as I record this. I started watching it, but then realised that Hidden in the Fog wasn't going to read the texts, so I'm going to read it myself. So I thought I'll save it, and I'll do a video, and I'll do a read-through of this, because if you're like me, very small writing at my age, you got to zoom things in. So we're going to look through these messages. I assume it's Facebook Messenger. Yeah, I think it is. And yeah, let's see what we find in here. Let's go. Before we get into Daniel's messages, can I just ask, if you're not yet subscribed, please do so. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and with your help I can do it. And then YouTube will send me a silver play button plaque for my wall. I'll do an unboxing video and everything. It's completely free at your end, so help me out. Thank you. Okay, so Daniel Martell. I don't know what day these were from, but I'm assuming it's recent. So we start here. Malaya is doing the most intelligent thing possible at this time. Faces heavy criticism, but subjectively has been more reputation saving than, I assume that should be, than the route I've decided to venture. Well, if you have that much insight, Daniel, why not stop talking? He's got verbal diarrhea, this guy. Mine leaves me facing heavy outpours of claims like false polygraph exam passes, lies to protect Malaya, me planting evidence, receiving relentless attacks on my character, resulting in thousands of hours of video footage for my children to see as they age, and for my children to be bullied about. Again, if you know all this, Daniel, why are you still doing it? I suppose you would say to keep Lilly and Jack's name out there, and that is valiant if you're completely innocent and the reason you're doing this is for Lilly and Jack. But just think about what you're saying. Maybe, I don't know, some individuals don't understand that a human on the other side of the screen. I've become desensitized to judgment. I'm not going to point fingers at her because the players in this case will receive the maximum penalties for involvement. I'm not saying I know any names of the characters involved, but one day individuals will have to pay for the enormous circus of fuckery this case has become. Major crimes will solve it, I have faith. I'll make one last statement here to address something I've always wanted to ask. Hayley, if I was doing drugs in the bathroom, so he's addressing Hayley, Malaya's sister here, I came out and you said you made your way right in to investigate. Why no mention of smoke or smell or even drugs for that matter? That's very true. I suppose you could say, well, there's not going to be any smoke or smell if you're popping pills. Yeah, if she's accusing him of smoking it, then yeah, there's going to be a smell. Powder, you could clear it all away, couldn't you? You said you made your way right in to investigate. Your simple narrative stunts don't hold weight. Susan, there's some content I wanted to address. I'll add some extra on the human remains search areas. The property here, blanket site, pipeline, and areas between the property here and Lansdowne Station Road. Interesting. All right, let's not get things confused here like the RCMP did. This is the property. This is home. And then this is Lansdowne Road. And this down here is Lansdowne Station Road. Now, in the RCMP documents, they said the blanket was found on Lansdowne Station Road, which is down here. Actually, the blanket was found on Lansdowne Road. They are completely different roads. Now, the person who wrote the affidavit that information came from obviously didn't know the difference, probably just thought it was all one long road. So, but between the property and Lansdowne Station Road. Interesting. There was also unmarked law enforcement vehicles up by Justin Smith's house. We're going to be naming names here. I don't know if dogs were assigned tasks in that location or not. Lansdowne area at this current time is the only search area I know of. Little bonus content there. This is what he does wrong. Daniel, I understand you're angry and annoyed at people making content about you, but you make it so easy. Just keep your mouth shut. So it goes straight onto this. Her being silent in her perspective stops from incriminating herself. I assume he's talking about Malaya. Again, a snipe that makes people talk. That's a good thing if you're guilty, right? I'm not saying she is. Okay, of course you're not. But doors swing both ways. Just watch it, don't swing back and hit you. Hidden in the Fog says, who is Justin Smith? Neighbour. Oh, so everybody's going to be looking up Justin Smith now. So Hidden in the Fog says, so why park at the neighbours? Obviously, in your neck of the woods, this would be very obvious to anyone. Oh, dogs. I'm not sure if dogs were there. Strange vehicle parked randomly around in a sparsely populated area is very obvious. No, they stopped and checked relations to kids or me. Do you know what update police are going to give next week or why they are waiting until next week? Dan was right, sorry to sound narcissistic, but yeah, I've been releasing info since the start. Dan was right, sorry to sound narcissistic. Okay, so he's talking in the third person about himself now, I think. Sorry to sound narcissistic, but yeah, I've been releasing info since the start. You have, and it's not done you very much good, Daniel, has it? It's created a lot of content, though. No one believed me. Everything on the case was from me, other than docs. Everything. Doesn't mean to say it's all truthful, though, does it? We don't know what's truthful and what isn't, because there's been so much muddying of the waters. Okay, what do you mean Dan was right? And I was asking if you know what update police are going to be giving and why they are waiting a week to release this update. That's a very good question. I'm right, 100%. Nothing. CBC interview. Susan, I released everything the public knows other than the docs. The update is that they have nothing. I said last week when this came out, when the news came out, that they were going to be doing an update. I think if they found human remains, they would release that. It would be obvious because there would be crime scene tape, there'd be a tent, there'd be a big palaver if they'd found human remains. So the fact that they're scheduling a press conference, or at least a press update, leads me to believe that the dogs are going to go home and they're just going to say that they didn't find anything. Or maybe they found some areas of interest that they're going to investigate further, but not that they found anything noteworthy. I think 2 updates. Why wait a week to say they found nothing? Maybe because they're searching for a few more days and then they're going to do the update kind of the day they leave. They are giving 2 updates, question mark. 1 update is normal tip amount that stuff keeps less informed up to date. So keeps the people who are less informed up to date. And 1 for the dogs probably release amount of area covered, general areas. Thank Hamie Hansen for helping out with the dogs. Surface level. Everything is approved. My lead investigator like the doxy blacks it out. You approve everything, or lead investigator? I assume he's meaning the lead investigator. As time progressed, Susan, I freely speak. 5 months is a long time. Lead investigator does, so decides what redactions are going to be have. I've met him a couple of times, very nice guy. Those docs are not even 1% of overall. So you have approved what will be released next week with redacted info. Is that what you mean? No, not me, lead investigator. Lead investigator decides. Okay, that's what I thought you meant. I get told days in advance, sometimes, of release date. Do you know which date they are doing the update? It's nice to have that grace period, a couple of days to prepare for attacks. So it's 1% of the docs. What else is there that you can talk about? Docs is 1% of overall case. I did 10 hours of interrogation. That's a lot of words. The only thing we've actually got in the documents is what has been written up as sworn statements, affidavits for things like search warrants. Those are the things that have been released. Yeah, there was summary of interviews in that. But imagine how much fuller those interviews are if you actually sit down and watch videos of them. It'd be fascinating. I never shut up sometimes, lol. I never knew that, Daniel. By the way, did you have a lawyer while you were being interrogated? No. Every question I could answer with confidence because I did nothing. Have they ever arrested you, taken you in for questioning, or did you just voluntarily go in? I get picked up and drove there. My brother drove me once. Okay. Police picking you up and taking you in for questioning could be construed in many ways. Have you ever been told you are under arrest or read your rights? I'm assuming they read him his rights. You would think that they read him his rights. Yeah, after my polygraph exam, I stopped at Patty's. To ensure I passed my polygraph exam and I never murdered 2 small children. Patty told Cindy I stopped in, and I guess she was livid mad. Probably still mad from when I told her off at the first search briefing. But yeah, CPS Meadow case in it says Cindy doesn't want Daniel around Patty's house just in case I'm there. Okay, I know when you're there or not, Cindy Wade doesn't have a license. Yeah, major crimes come to my place and we go in for questioning. There's obviously cross-posting going on here. They buy me food, coffee. Of course they do, to keep you talking. You know, DNA collection, fine with me, free food. We take smoke breaks. I vaped outside, come in, do more questions. I draw maps to hidden treasure. Not really. I draw maps of areas I searched during the time they wanted. Recall days in advance, minute by minute. That was rough to do because it's normal life. The brain sees no reason to store it, right? So simple days memory is hard. Yeah, the days up to the disappearance would be hard to recall because they're just normal days. The days after, then you're thinking about every minute, everything you do. They're easier to recall. They drive me home afterwards, like 140, 150 on the highway. 140, 150, question mark. Talking like normal people, it was nice to feel normal for those few minutes, Susan. 110, Susan, highway speed. Thanks for correcting me, I appreciate it. Looking out for the boys in blue, thank you. Okay, just answer this question. Yeah, stop going off at rambles. I am sure you think you have answered it, but not really. So, to be clear, just a yes or no. Have you ever been told that you are under arrest? Being arrested is different than being charged. You can be arrested, which only means you are not free to leave until the police say so. They can lay charges or not. Many people are arrested, but never charged. So basically, is he going in voluntarily or not? I guess is what she's asking. The correct term is detained. I was never detained. Detained means a probable cause was rendered, meaning a criminal offence may or may not have been encountered. I never committed a criminal offence or even been accused of a criminal offence in nature. If a criminal offence happens during a missing persons case and it affects or harms the missing person or harms the case as a whole, it pivots to a criminal case. I act dumb, Susan, but I'm not always dumb. Okay. I'm going to stick to a respectful silence there. If that's true, I don't know, I guessed. Okay, well, you've answered my question well enough. So he was never detained. In his words, he was answering everything voluntarily. Let me ask you 2 questions. What was Lily doing the very last time you physically saw her, and when was that? And what was Jack doing the very last time you physically saw him, and when was that? As time goes on, I look back at those moments and I can almost freeze frame them because I laying in bed, so many times, playing them over and over like an endless loop. Just answer the question. I'm not surprised there was 10 hours of interrogation video, probably an hour of content. And 9 hours of Daniel going off on one. She seemed excited, Susan. No Barbie t-shirt on, I can say that. She seemed excited the last time he saw her. So he said he saw her coming into the bedroom. She was all excited. Maybe she thought she was going to school. Maybe that's why she was excited. Why was she excited, and what did she have on? Jack was sleeping a little. After midnight on May the 1st, I flicked on the light and looked, and both asleep. I'd never seen him May 2nd. Did Lily say anything? Not the first time, but the second time, yes. I went over this times, as I said, in my head over and over, trying to find details or clues to help. Susan, she either said, "Hi, Dad," or "Hello, Dad." I remember before I thought she didn't say anything, but time passes and everything becomes clearer. Mission becomes clear. Evidence builds, leads are followed up on, and time continues to tick for the individual involved, but the batteries in the watch only last so long. And that's it. So that was a conversation between Hidden in the Fog and Daniel Martell. Answer a simple question. Stop rambling. Think about what you're saying before you say it, and just answer questions. If you're willing to answer questions, just answer them. People pick things apart because you don't answer simple questions. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Good girl. Hello.